doesn't matter.
Whatever.
This show is useless anyway. Okay. Did you know Lamb of God has a new record? You know what it's called?
I've heard this, yes.
You know what it's called? You know what these fuckers called it? These original... They called it...
Lamb of God.
Lamb of God.
Self-titled.
Like the Black Album. It's Lamb of God. This is their eighth album.
Eighth album, yes.
Eighth album.
So...
What do we know about this?
What kind of message does that send?
It means nothing is happening ever. It means...
Is this their last album?
No. I don't think
or it's just they couldn't think of a title?
Yeah. They're just like, we just call it Lamb of God.
Well, I believe the album title has a clock on it.
Oh. Let's see.
You should click on the album.
Is that where?
That is not the album.
Oh, okay.
All the way at the bottom.
Discographies, right? Lamb of God full length album. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the end. It's the 11th hour. It's
so.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's a little ominous that they named it Lamb of God.
Yeah.
So maybe they're gonna pack it in.
Yeah, it's about time, guys.
You know what should pack it in is that papyrus logo.
Yeah, that is really turn of the century, isn't it?
It's like a relic.
Yeah, that's really turn of the century. That's, that's like maybe like 20 years from now, that will be cool again. Kind of, how like Metallica's logo got cool again? They kind of changed it in the 90s, but now it's back to the regular Metallica logo. Same thing.
So someday we'll be back to papyrus?
Yes, this will be cool again in like 20 years. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, we can only hope.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about the album. We listened to it.
Yeah,
this isn't our normal thing.
Well, once in a while, we want to do a popular album, so I could say shit about it. Yeah, go ahead.
And I enjoy Randy Bly, personally. I believe that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, I agree with him. He's a reasonable guy.
So I enjoy his antics. But his band isn't the most offensive thing. But... It's
not
really
these
us,
days.
But we listen to the album.
Not these days.
These days?
Yeah, not these days. When they first started, they were called Burn the Priest. So.
Did you like them back then?
I did. They weren't really known back then when they were called Burn the Priest.
Exactly why you bring it up.
But but they didn't change that name. I read because like it was like offensive to anyone. They changed it because they were like, we need to mature and.
I mean, it is a little immature,
we need to like be less edgelords as they go. That's the same thing when my band was called Holy Enema in the 90s. And we're like, that's a little immature. It's the same thing.
All right. Let's get this on topic.
Edgelords.
I thought it almost began a little gothy.
Yeah, that's right. It starts like Sisters of Mercy or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what's with this?
But it goes into that kind of standard Lamb of God.
Yeah,
what does Metal Archives call them? Groovecore?
Well, you know what they are? They're Southern metal. That's what they are.
You think so? No, I don't think
so.
Almost
in an evolved form of Pantera.
Some elements, I guess, but like they're definitely. I feel like they're proto metalcore or like
after metal. Well, after.
They're after metalcore.
Oh no, I'm sorry. After new metal. Yeah, no, sorry.
They're the bridge between new metal and metalcore.
Yeah, that's a good possible.
But like you can kind of hear, like that point where like, cause how metalcore has those riffs that are basically just percussion.
Yeah.
It's like no notes in metalcore.
Yeah, there's no melody. It's just.
So on this album as well has a lot of riffs like that where they're very percussive, but they still play notes.
Yeah, they're not as extreme as some of these bands. They play their
instruments.
Yeah, some of these. Yeah, they have talent. In fact, their drummer was shared with Megadeth for a while. Their former drummer who left recently is replaced by Art Cruz, who I saw play in a small club by the name of the in Teaneck, the Debonair with Prong.
Oh, with Prong.
I was really amazed by him,
okay.
and he kept looking at my camera. He kept looking like at making eye contact with my camera. Art Cruz here. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. That was the guy from Prong. He was a really good guy from Prong. And now he's in these guys.
I do have to say, when we reviewed the Havoc album, we made fun of them for their lyrics, for their Wake Up Sheeple lyrics.
So, yeah, that usual stuff.
I gotta say, Lamb of God is maybe a little worse.
I feel like Lamb of God's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, no, I don't think they've been subtle, but it's just, it's a little cringy. I can't lie.
They're not the only one.
That gothy intro, it's like, wake up.
Wake up.
They literally say, wake up.
They're not the only one doing that, though. I mean, they're not the only band.
I mean, lots of people have said wake up, but it's just a little on the nose.
Wake up, sheeple.
And, like, the next song is talking about the American Scream. Get it? It's like a
American Dream, American Scream. I got the papers right here.
But I don't know. I found this album kind of listenable for a genre of music that I don't really like. You know, it's high quality stuff. Lamb of God knows what they're doing.
Yeah, of all those kind of bands, they're like the highest quality one.
Yeah.
Of all those WSOU kind of bands, you know.
I kind of even liked the song "New Colossal Hate." It's kind of catchy.
What's the song? They have some guest musicians.
So they had Jamie Jasta. Mr. Jamie Jasta joined us.
Yeah, the father of metalcore.
I didn't get much of an impression from his song. I'm not sure why he was there, but he was there. And we also had Chuck Billy.
And you can hear Chuck Billy in that song. Like
you can hear him.
Chuck Billy always, to me, had that, like, and I'm not making fun of him, but he always had like that poor man's James Hetfield voice. But it's not that at all. That's just like a way of describing it, but that's not like truth about it. Like in reality, he's a way better singer than James Hetfield. But he kind of has a kind of thing going, and you just hear that voice in the back. And you're like, oh, that's Chuck Billy. It's Chuck Billy.
Anyway, what did you think of the album?
It's typical Lamb of God, but it's not like offensive, and it's like a subtle version of a lot of that jun music today. Like, it's a subtle version of it because it's the original version of that stuff.
It's the stuff that inspired.
Yeah, so it's not going too far.
The worst excesses of metalcore today.
Yeah, because it's not excessive.
But
like Lamb of God has never been excessive. It's not like okay. It's just like it's Lamb of God. I saw Lamb of God open for Metallica once in 2008. So they kind of periodically arose for a band that was sort of mentored by Gwar in Richmond. Like they're a band that kind of went up quickly into
Metallica has that effect on people.
Yeah. Like if you're with them, like, but they got to do that though. So like,
anyway,
they got to open for Metallica.
I believe you were also saying today, Lamb of God is kind of like the standard metal band that you're able to play on any metal station.
Yeah, they're safe. They're like one of the safest standard. They're like the standard metal sound.
Like, what is modern metal?
Yeah, and they're a great example of it. Like, they're a safe example of it. That's not too far. Anyone could really be like, oh, okay, I'm okay with this. I don't know anyone that like
okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that hates these guys. Like, oh, I fucking hate Lamb of God. They're not like irritating in any way.
I mean, they can be a little irritating.
Well, then you think about Randy, and it's like Randy's okay.
But as I said, I found this album listenable, even though it's not my thing exactly.
Yeah, it's not like horrific.
So,
I'm not going to listen to it like running or something. It's not going to do anything for me.
You should try listening to New Colossal Hate while running.
Yeah. Like, the music doesn't move me.
I like that one.
It doesn't move me. It doesn't, like, I'm like, it's grooves. It doesn't groove for me. Maybe it grooves for some people, but it doesn't do it for me. But,
Groovecore.
Yeah, it's groovecore. Groove. I don't know where they came out with that, but
I don't know if that's what they called it.
Like Randy is in that like southern sludge sphere. He's in that.
This is not sludge.
No, because they're like too far north of Virginia. But like he's in that. So he's sang for I Hate God before. Like he's got to sing for them.
I could see that.
When they had a lot of guest singers. They even had friggin' Corpse Grinder sing for them. Like he's in that sphere. Like he's in that sort of universe.
I mean, yeah, his vocal could be like
but, he's got those kind of vocals.
The rest of the band is pretty far.
Yeah, and the rest of the bands are like they're like music people. Like they're like good musicians. They're not like shitty musicians. Like I said, their former drummer played for Megadeth for a while. He was a drummer. What was his name? Chris Adler or something. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Yeah. We don't need to.
Oops, why am I clicking on that? Just to confirm, that was complete lineup. That was
all right.
Where the fuck?
You're looking at the album, that's why. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we got here?
It's the Cro-mags.
Okay, so the Cro-mags, you all know, they came out with a new album after 20 years. 20.
Yeah, the last album
20
was in
years.
2000.
The last
There's
album
been
was
some activity.
The last album, Revenge, 2000. And that looks like is that Paris Mayhew there? And there's Harley Flannigan, or is that John Joseph? I can't tell. Now that's probably Harley Flannigan, right?
That's Harley. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Is that Paris Mayhew there? Doesn't matter. Okay, he's a nerd anyway. So what do we know about this album?
It's their first since their initial name reckoning.
Okay, so there's kind of Cro-mags. We've talked about this before. Cro-mags is kind of it's a conflict right now.
John Joseph versus
Yeah.
Harley Flannigan.
So it was like a John Joseph one, but is the John Joseph one even active? Like that was that Cro-mags AD? Where was it?
I don't know the full,
Yeah,
full
what
story.
was it? I forgot. We did this before,
But
though.
this happened.
We spoke of this.
I think maybe April last year, 2019.
Yeah.
There was the official ruling that Harley gets to be Cro-mags, and John Joseph, should he play, I think he is.
Yeah.
Is Cro-mags JM.
Cro-mags JM, that was it. Not Cro-mags AD. Cro-mags JM.
So I assume since, John Joseph wanted the name, he's planning to do something with it.
Well,
but I don't know. I haven't looked him up.
Harley Flannigan might come after him. Harley Flannigan just looks like an angry guy. He just looks like a guy he just looks like a really pissed off Irish guy.
All right. Well,
what do we know about this album?
This album's called In the Beginning. It's technically their 6th album.
Why they call it In the Beginning?
Because
Lamb of God has their ominously last album. These guys have their first album and their last album.
The Cro-mags are going to explain all of history to us with this album.
They did.
It was also known as produced by Arthur Rizek.
Who's
I
that?
believe is how you say his name. He's a very cool guy. He's very in with a lot of bands. He's mixed and mastered all the hottest shit the past 3 years or so.
Like what?
And notably, he's been the producer on all of Power Trip.
Oh, okay.
So I think I've even seen live videos of him playing with Power Trip.
Oh, okay.
So he's like he's like a stamp of approval kind of if he's producing something. It's like
Approved.
Ooh, Arthur Rizek.
Arthur Rizek.
It's probably
Arthur Rizek.
probably pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think this album started out pretty solid. It's Cro-mags.
It starts how you want the Cro-mags to continue. I mean, when you hear a new album from the Cro-mags, this is what you want to hear. However,
it's some hardcore. It's some New York.
Yeah, it's just where it's like, oh, this is good. And of course, by the way, Harley Flannigan is singing. He's singing and playing bass. So it's all him. And that works. It's not. I always like that crazy voice of John Joseph. That kind of the way John Joseph does.
Yeah, the vocals is not very notable, I would say.
Yeah, John Joseph really just.
But
gave the Cro-mags their sound.
Some pretty solid hardcore riffs going on in this thing, and some.
So the first few songs, it's like, yeah, this is good, but then it starts getting weird. It's like what? It's like what? What's that?
I mean, it's got a lot of slow sections.
Yeah,
with,
that you're not expect.
Noodling, I would call it, and not even
noodling.
There's some very obvious parts with some Eastern string instrument or something.
Yeah, obviously the Cro-mags have always been into that.
Yeah,
that's always been
But there's some other stuff where it's just it's almost a little jammy.
Yeah, it kind of goes on.
It's not very. Doesn't really scream hardcore to you. Right?
Yeah, hardcore guys don't generally let their guard down like that. They're always kind of they don't really they don't jam.
But yeah, the album's 38 minutes long.
Which
I
is
feel
fine.
like it could have been cut to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
Just that's how it should be, like a hardcore album.
Tighten it up.
Yeah, a hardcore album should be 30 minutes.
But interestingly, track 4 featured Phil Campbell from Motorhead.
Yeah, that guy, the guitar player.
Yeah, I think his first album with Motorhead was Orgasmatron.
Yeah,
he's a later edition.
He I forget which he was after. I think he was after Robbo. I don't know if he was after Robbo after Motorhead, or was it Wurzel? I don't know.
The one that replaced Fast Eddie.
Yeah, it was Robbo.
It was after him.
So he's right after Robbo then. Okay. And so he's the guitar. Of course, the drummer ended up in Scorpions of all bands. Scorpions.
But yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell guitar guests very often. The Tony Iommi on Candlemass, okay, but this was Harley's just let's go, Phil. And I was oh, this is Phil Campbell. So.
Yeah, it's he's never really been a.
Okay, cool.
When you're in a band like Motorhead, there's no room really for the guitar player.
Yeah.
Not at that stage. Early on, when it was Fast Eddie, there was kind of room for a guitar, but later on, it didn't really matter what the guitar was doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I will say the album does end strong. It ends with another banger, so it has that.
Yeah, they kind of go through this weird stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we're making an album here, and then they go back into with there was a time.
What?
There was a time.
There was a time.
Or is that an extra song?
that Between Wars song is just like 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little weird for them.
Was that the instrumental?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's instrumental.
And it wasn't like... I can go for a banging hardcore instrumental, okay?
No instrumentals.
But, like, I'm fine with...
No. You're not. This isn't Metallica Day. This isn't Master of Puppets, Justice for All.
No, like, a lot of exciting...
time.
Like, you can make, like, a bunch of hardcore riffs smashed together with no vocals, and that's the instrumental.
No. The idea of hardcore is to have, like, vocals about some political thing or some kind of strife.
All right.
Or I'm going to kick your ass. There's no instrumentals in hardcore. You're not supposed to be good. You're not expected to be able to play.
Anyway, this is some decent bro music gets a little contemplative if you want to be into that.
Yeah, let's not, let's...
But mostly, I would say 60%, just some broness.
Brocore.
Bro time.
Yeah, my band is happy with this album. They're all about this album. Like, my band thinks they're this band. Like my bass player singer, I call it, he's Harley Flannigan. That's what I call him. So, that's his nickname.
I have not heard that before.
Yes. Okay, well, let's watch out.
What did you think?
Well, you gotta be careful what we say about this. As you know, Paris Mayhew, the founder, I've heard he had to put bars on his windows because of the potential wrath of Harley Flannigan.
I invite Harley Flannigan to come over
I don't.
anytime.
I'll just keep the bars on the windows. I won't let him in. He'll get in. But the album starts well, and I'm like, and we're listening to it. I'm like, this part is weird. Like, some of the songs get a little bit weird.
I mean, have they always gotten weird like that? I'm not a big Cro-mags.
No, when I started listening to the Cro-mags.
But they always had like Eastern, like they were
no, it's always
Krishna
it's always
guys.
been that's always been like their their album covers. They're definitely like that whole straight edge kind of thing. But like when I started listening to the Cro-mags, it was like Age of Quarrel. It was like Near Death Experience. That's the stuff like I first listened to like back then, like back when this stuff was new, and I was like, well, this is cool. I like this. I really liked it. But the early '90s stuff. But, like, I don't remember them ever getting, like, kind of weird. Like, remember, this is a different Cro-mags. This is no original members. This is Harley Flannigan.
It's like a solo project now.
Yeah, but, he's Harley, so, he's a founding member.
But I think his thing is, like, I've always been Cro-mags.
Yeah,
always was a solo project.
I'll kick the shit out of you. Like, obviously, you're probably not going to see Paris Mayhew in this anymore. And he was a founding member. He was, like, the nerd that started all this, amongst, like, a bunch of, like, way tougher-looking dudes with tattoos. And he's like kind of like this nerdy guy. Like, let's see here.
All right, we're getting into the.
Wait, there's like a where's the live album? Is it?
All right, let's keep this tight over here.
Nothing tight. There's like a picture of them, and it's just like a funny picture.
It's on the main page.
No, well, yeah, well, maybe you could look at this, like, like there's, that guy just looks like he's just like this nerdy kind of rich kid, and these guys are like, we'll hang out with you, yeah, we can jam, but yeah.
All right.
Is that Mackie? Mackie played for them, right?
Mackie's also. I think that's the JM. It's John, Joseph, and Mackie.
Oh, okay, so Mackie's with them, yeah, because Mackie was this phenomenal drummer. We used to always say, oh, Mackie, this guy's so good, yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Cro-mags. Blah blah blah.
Next, this album's been out for a bit now, but it made it onto my short list without us ever talking about it.
Stallion. Stallion.
So I figured we should talk about it. This is Stallion, heavy metal, speed metal.
Speed metal. It's actual speed metal.
Germany. And it's pretty fucking good.
A lot of people like to use the term speed metal, but this is actually speed metal.
No, it is speed metal.
Yeah, this is real speed metal.
Well, I mean, there's some real thrash elements on here as well. Some, like, very classic sounding German thrash.
Yeah, like, the Destruction, Sodom,
Creator. It's got that mean, kind of whiny sometimes
German thrash.
Very relentless riffing.
Yeah, the Germans, had their own thrash. Like we had our thrash, East Coast thrash, West Coast thrash, and there was thrash from Germany. And it's its own thing.
Like that No Mercy song in particular.
Yeah.
Track 2 is it's like kind of a mean thrash song.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
But they're also not afraid to get kind of hair metal a lot of the time.
Yeah, they get a little
glammy and kind of rock and roll as well.
it gets like a little. It gets it gets a little overkill-y in a way, in a good way. Then it gets a little party, like some of the songs get like a little bit like let's drink a lot of beer and smash the walls kind of sound.
I think one of my favorite moments was on the song "Time to Reload" before the guitar solo. He just goes guitar.
Yeah, you just gotta say it, guitar.
Well, he shouts it.
But
very English second language.
It has a little bit, yeah, definitely. You can always hear that. It has a little bit, of an Enforcer vibe to it. A little
it's
meaner though.
It's way meaner than Enforcer.
It's more, it's angrier than Enforcer.
They're meaner than Enforcer, and if you another German thrash band, say modern German thrash band Vulture, less mean than Vulture. So
yeah,
they're kind of in the middle between those two. There's a ballad. So, Vulture wouldn't definitely have a ballad. There's a ballad on this, which is kind of amusing, but I don't know if they're kidding. They're probably not. I don't know. It's very heartfelt, and it's fucking 7 minutes long.
Well, if they're going to be retro, a lot of bands had like a ballad back then, even like,
Well, yeah, they're very retro. This is some very on-point production, like 80s.
They're
80s
really
shit.
trying to capture the moment. Even like the legit bands have like a ballad. Megadeth had ballads.
I'm just saying, like, this ballad was... It was something else.
Like Slaves of Time is the record. Yeah.
Did you listen to the ballad?
It's...
Trying to talk to you about the album. Yeah. All right, he didn't listen to it.
I did listen to the album. I don't like I don't like those things. Don't they don't like click with me. Okay. Like that, just because you're trying to be retro. I'm just like I'm like nah, I'm not having it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like was it like some kind of like haha, let's put a ballad in because it's what we do, or I think they meant it. I think they mean it. Like they like the ballad.
These guys, being that they're Europass certified.
Yes.
Like
these guys
they
need
probably
a Europass.
Yeah, they probably mean it.
They mean it.
By the way, listeners, 7,000 monthly listeners, which is that's decent.
That's pretty decent. And the thing is, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this album or this band. No. But I think they are big in Europe.
I think they're with the whole walking thing. They're probably out there.
Yeah.
High Roller Records, which is a decent label. It seems to have a lot of people on it. A lot of like known acts. Obviously like a European label, High Roller Records. So,
but big in Europe, that's why they get the Europass.
Yeah, and they're definitely, they're not. I don't think they're not LARPers. They're
all right, but they're good. It's sort of like good guitar solos and shit. And it's good time and it's fun. And it's very, the album is very varied. It's got a lot of, it's they made a lot of like nice set of songs here. It's worth a listen for sure. I'd say it's in my short list.
How come there's always this guy in every band?
They all look like that guy.
No, but there's always this guy. Like Tower has this guy, right? This guy. This guy's in that other band we're reviewing.
What?
This guy. Like he looks like this. He has like a beard and a mustache, and he's just going all out with his vest.
There are 4 out of 5 of them have mustaches.
But this guy, this particular guy is in every band like this. Like he looks like this. This particular guy is in every band. This guy.
I don't know. I think they all look very similar.
No, but this guy kind of looks like Edgar Allan Poe, right? And he's a lot more subtle. And this guy's just some dude, right?
Well, I think it's just because he's wearing sunglasses. I'm sure
he wears sunglasses.
Sure all of them own sunglasses.
No, but he always wears sunglasses in the photo when you don't need to wear them. Like this guy's just like a normal looking dude. He's like, hey man, but this guy's like, yeah, I party.
All right, we got one more album to talk about.
Okay, so these guys are not from Europe.
This is Greyhawk with their debut album, Keepers of the Flame. This is also heavy metal, but more power metal.
All right. So when I first heard these guys, Seattle. When I first heard these guys, I'm like, are they serious with this? And I was in there, and Sam's like, they're from Seattle. I'm like, they're real LARPers. They're not real. You can't. What are they? A bunch of hipsters that are dressing up.
So just to clarify, this is power metal. This is some power metal shit.
So
put on your wizard hat. Make your scepter.
Yeah. Well, maybe that guy. Well, that guy's not LARPing. He's just dressing how he usually does.
They're a new band. They're not all on the costumes yet. Okay.
Yeah,
so
not all of them.
We have some time to get it together.
Yeah.
Okay, but this guy is leading them. He has a scepter. He made it. It's got a crystal on it. It's got a quartz.
Yeah,
it's got some fur.
That's like the Wobberjack from Skyrim.
The what?
The wobber jack. It like turns things into. You don't know what it's gonna do when you unleash it. It just It might summon a demon.
I was gonna say I'm not enough of a nerd, but
the wobber jack is a legendary item in Skyrim.
I remember.
And that's maybe like a wobber jack.
I don't know. You should arrange an interview with him and ask.
I never got rid of the wobber. When you get the wobber jack, you don't get rid of it. Like you always keep that around.
Mm-hmm. On to the album. These guys can play their instruments.
Okay. Can I say something about that?
Can play their guitar.
Now I'm listening to this, and I'm like, these guys, they got two guitarists, right? Like they're like two really good guitarists, and I'm realizing, like, that is not a thing anymore. Like back in the day, you're like, whoa, this guy's a good guitarist. You listen, like, it's a night, you listen to Matt Pike or something. Like, whoa, this guy's you listen to Eddie Van Halen, or you listen to, the guy from the Scorpions, or you listen, like, whoa, this guy's a good guitarist. Most likely that guitarist was a Hellraiser, and he partied, he fucking destroyed shit, or like Slash or something, or any kind of guy like that. Today, there's so many, like, guitarists that are really good, and they're all fucking nerds. They all play on the internet, and they're nerds. Like, and they're really good. Like, listen, like, this album has an instrumental called RXRO. And it's just guitar masturbation. And it's like almost in a Megadeth kind of way, like the way like Megadeth kind of does those solos. But like Megadeth, Dave Mustaine and whatever guitarist he had at the time, whichever it was, like they were, maybe Marty Friedman was a nerd. Okay, fine. He was like the first guitar. Yeah. He was like the first guitar nerd. Okay, but anyway, like, when they had that Chris Poland or something, that guy's like got a heroin needle in his arm, and he's still, and they're just like rocking it out. And Dave Mustaine, we know, he's definitely not a nerd. So like, but these guitarists today, they're just like it seems like,
listen,
there's so many of them that are so good that it doesn't even matter anymore.
This is power metal.
Oh no, never mind that. It doesn't matter what kind of metal it is. In all genres of metal,
power metal calls to the nerds.
Yeah, but even in these bands that aren't power metal bands that aren't for nerds, they're still nerds. In these other bands too, these really good guitarists, whether it's black metal or any kind of like, or even like new thrash or whatever, or even stoner music. Like, well, stoner music has less good guitarists. I'll say that. They don't have, like, super guitarists usually because it's not called for. But, with thrashers and things, like faster stuff, more complicated stuff, stuff that involves less weed. Yeah, like, there's so many, like, really good guitarists. I'm not one of them. I'm not a good guitarist. I'm pretty terrible. Because I didn't have a guitar website. I didn't have a YouTube channel where I play guitar. I just kind of play. And and I've been playing for like since 2000. I don't know, 2000.
All right, we haven't talked about this album at all.
Wait. I'm not done. I've been playing since 1990, and I'm pretty bad. I'm not a good guitarist.
All right.
Because I'm not a nerd.
Yes, you are.
I'm not a nerd.
He plays flight simulators on his free time.
That is irrelevant to this podcast.
All right. Listen, power metal's for nerds, and we're both nerds
these days.
So, if you like power metal, if you like, Visigoth, this is kind of a lot like Visigoth.
Yeah.
Not as well produced, a lot rougher around the edges. I mean, Visigoth is like, very slick, high a little too high production.
This is not power metal in the same league as like Manowar, by the way. Don't try to like think that.
Well, I mean, they love metal. They're definitely singing about the glory of metal. They don't have Manowar's attitude problem.
Yeah, they don't have that yet.
They're just singing about wizards.
Yet.
They have a nice song about how you're the wizard.
Yes, it's a positive song.
It's a positive song.
Don't look for the wizard.
Don't wait for the wizard.
You're the wizard.
Be the wizard.
Be the wizard.
Don't wait for magic. The magic is you.
Like on first glance, I thought these guys are going for Europass, but there's no Europass because they're from Seattle, so they have to deal with whatever they have in this country.
But there's some definite hard rock influences, I would say, on this album. They break it down. There's a gothy song as well on here.
That song is definitely gothy.
Real gothy. And it's kind of stuff it's very ridiculous, but it gets you pumped up, you know? Like, it works. It works.
Yeah, they did a good job, despite their nerd guitarists.
And it's got a great epic heavy metal vocal, which I love, and I wish more people did.
Yeah.
It's hard though. It's real hard.
Their vocalist is like he's not like a wailer. Like you could tell he has a limited range, so he's doing what he could with it.
I mean, he's definitely above average. The fact that he's able to do it at all.
Yeah, to have any kind of power, but he's not a wailer because
I mean, he's not Rob Halford. No.
Yeah, he doesn't have that range.
You know, he's definitely inspired by Rob Halford, and I wish more singers would go in that direction. And I think he's certainly good enough. He's doing it. He doesn't. Plenty of guys sound flat and thin when they try to do it, but he doesn't. So it's good.
Yeah, he's working with what he has. He's staying in his range. But he's not as like as his guitarists are. He's these guitar nerds are.
He's not an opera singer. No.
I bet you these two are the guitar nerds. Right, and the bass player is from what band?
He's from Skeletor.
So this guy's kind of in another band that we know.
2019 album made it onto our list last year.
This tough looking guy with his what is it called, bracers?
This guy loves heavy metal. Was there gauntlets?
What gauntlet? No, gauntlets go over your hands.
No, those are your hands. Yeah, those are bracers.
Bracers. Magic bracers of speed. +5 for a sword strike.
I don't know. I feel like a bassist should go for like vitality.
Yeah, right. Fortitude. Vitality. Yeah. Like the guitarist needs the bracers of speed. Yeah.
He's not wearing any bracers. Come on, guys, get it together.
These guys are nerds.
All right.
That's the thing.
So did you like the album?
Yeah, the album is good, despite the guitar masturbation, which I don't appreciate anymore.
I don't like it?
Because it's so common. Everyone is doing it, and I want everyone to stop with the guitar masturbation. Everyone.
Yeah, when it gets to like neoclassical levels,
and they're
what's that band, Ex Mortis, where they're literally doing a classical.
Yeah, when Ex Mortis was doing it wasn't out of control yet. Being that this is a new band,
Ex Mortis is more ridiculous than the guitar masturbation.
But Ex Mortis was doing this like long before these. This is new. This is brand new. This is like this is a new band.
They're not allowed to because it's been.
It's
done
like okay, like when Ex Mortis was doing
modern band.
Yeah, well, like when Ex Mortis has been around for how long? Like almost 20 years, probably like a while. I don't want to look them up right now.
Maybe 10.
But like at least 10 years. Like that whole guitar nerd masturbation came up with YouTube. It's because of YouTube. It's because there's all these internet guitarists on YouTube that are just like, look how good I am with their 7-string necklace guitars. And now it's everywhere. Now it's in our music. Like and back in my age, like I said, good guitarists were like a few guys and they were hellraisers. Like Matt Pike, awesome guitarist. He's not a nerd, okay? He didn't have a YouTube channel. Like Matt Pike was smoking weed and drinking and playing his fucking guitar. Like that's he's a hellraiser. This guy is not a hellraiser.
You don't know about him.
He's not. Look at him. Imagine he tried to hang with Matt Pike. He just wouldn't. Look at those skinny jeans.
You don't know about him, okay?
But the rest of these guys, but what I thought these guys were authentic, or most of them anyway. Because looking at their history, one of them was like in a Pantera cover band. I don't know which guy it was, but I'm like, okay, that's
Skeletor guy.
I'm like, yeah, okay, there you go. That's pretty real. I'm not saying I like Pantera. I'm like, that's pretty real.
All right, are you done ranting for no reason?
No, that's what I do.
Guitar players.
I'm as a guitar player, I'm tired of fucking guitar players. I want you all to stop.
I like guitar players.
I don't like them.
I like exciting guitar music.
I don't like them. I'm tired of them. Monthly listeners 1,700. It's not a huge amount.
It's not nothing.
Yeah, but it's not like these are the smallest band we're doing today.
We've done less.
They're on Fighter Records, which has a limited roster. I noticed. I'm just mostly Euro bands. Fighter Records. Mostly, these guys are one of the few American bands that are on Fighter Records. I'm always interested in the record label situation with these guys, but anyway, they're authentic though. They despite a few shortcomings with that guitar masturbation, it's a good band. You should definitely check this out. If you're like, hey, there's no good music, there's no good new music. Well, yeah, listen to this. So okay, I'm just when a band like this is from America, I'm cautious.
They don't get a Europass.
You do not get a Europass, so you're on your own.
You need a visa.
Yeah, like the other band, they're fine. They get Europass. They're all in. They're from Germany. That's cool. It's fine. Everything they're doing is fine. But you guys, you have to, you're gonna be a little bit against the wind. So it's the way it is. If you're wondering, email me, you guys, because sometimes this gets so at this level. Sometimes this stuff gets back to the bands, as we've seen before. Like, because I put it in the keywords, and then the band it somehow comes up for the band. So if you guys hear this, I'm not shitting on you, but if you're both of these guitar players,
you're both very talented, and I think you should keep doing what you're doing.
You guys are Enrico Maurizio, you, and Jesse Merlin. You two, contact me and explain to me what business is with these guitars. This ridiculous. I'm a guitar player, and I'm terrible. Okay, and I'm proud of it. Okay.
He plays in a hardcore band. You wouldn't understand.
I'm not good. Last time I played, I completely fucked up the show. My bad. I'm not good. I've never been good.
And you caused the plague with that.
Yeah, I ruined everything. Yeah. So anyway, that's all with the bands, right?
And thus concludes our music reviews.
Yeah. But we have, it's a lot of news.
We have some news today.